Hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Listings API video series. My name is Federico, and I work as a solutions architect at Amazon's Selling Partner Developer Services. In our previous episode, we presented some of the most common listings use cases and how to implement them using the Listings API. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you to do it before continuing with this video. In today's episode, we will highlight the best practices that you should follow while implementing listings workflows and give you some hints on how to troubleshoot errors. Let's get started. Let's start with some best practices for creating well-grounded listings workflows. One of the keys is to understand your use case well. Like we explained in our first episode, listing on Amazon comes in many different flavors. Therefore, it is important to identify the exact goal that you are trying to accomplish before moving to writing code. Is your use case to list an item that doesn't exist in the catalog yet, or to create an offer for an existing ASIN? Do you want to do a full update or just modify a few attributes? Do you need to upload product facts or sales terms, or both? Getting clarity here will help you identify the correct workflow and achieve better results. If you are planning to use the Fits API to submit large volumes of data, please double-check if bulk is the best approach. For example, if you were to submit less than 1,500 messages in a 5-minute interval, the one-by-one operation is a better mechanism, as its rate limit will allow you to finish your task faster and you won't have to go through the process of creating and uploading a fit document. However, if your payload includes more than 1,500 items, Fits API is the right approach. Always keep in mind that JSON fits cannot include more than 10,000 messages. While it is technically possible to submit listings data without using the catalog items or the listings restrictions API, using these supporting building blocks will help you achieve better results. So always refer to the recommended workflows while designing your solution. Also, validating the data before submission is critical. The JSON schemas provide great validation functionality that you should leverage to confirm that mandatory attributes are present, valid values are being used, etc. This will remove the need to send the data many times before getting a successful submission, which results in a much better customer experience. Like we described before, the Listings API provides feedback in two ways: synchronously for issues preventing the acceptance of the data, and asynchronously for other errors detected in downstream processing. Make sure to read both using the API response and listings notifications. Their payload will give you information that will help you understand how to fix all issues accordingly. Finally, keeping product schemas up to date is very important in order to guarantee that you are always validating and submitting against the latest requirements for the product type. The best way to achieve this is by subscribing to the product type definitions change notification, which will inform you as soon as new product type or a new version of an existing product type is launched. Now let's talk about troubleshooting listings issues. First of all, it is important to understand the possible status of a submission. Accepted means that the first stage validation was passed and the request could be forwarded downstreams for further asynchronous processing. Successful, on the other hand, means that asynchronous processing finished without errors. Since issues can occur during submission or during asynchronous processing, it is important that you are able to identify them on time in order to take corrective action. Synchronous issues are provided in the API response for put and patch operations. If you are submitting data in bulk using JSON listings feed, the information will be provided in the feed processing report for each item. Asynchronous issues, on the other hand, can only be detected once post-submission processing finishes. The way to be notified about them is by subscribing to the Listings Item Issues Change notification. Alternatively, you can also use the GET operation from the Listings API, which will provide all issues for a listings item. Now that you are able to distinguish between submission, status, and know how to identify issues, let's evaluate the impact they have on the catalog. First of all, an accepted listing submission doesn't guarantee that the item will be listed in the Amazon website. This will happen if issues are detected during asynchronous processing. If they occur, you will have to fix them in order for the product to go live and be discoverable in the marketplace by customers. Also, even if the product goes live, you might sometimes notice that some of the attributes displayed in the product detail page don't match the information that you provided. This is because Amazon reconciles the data from all selling partners' contribution into a single item in the catalog, or ASIN. In this process, Amazon tries to identify the best, most accurate information, which is the one that ends up showing on the website. Finally, there are some issues that you won't be able to solve using the API and will require opening a seller or vendor support case. Examples of these are attempts to increase or significantly decrease cost prices, situations where duplicated SKUs are identified in the selling partner catalog, and supported categories, and more. All this information will help you set your selling partners' expectations and define the corresponding processes. So that was it for our fourth and final episode. Thank you very much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. In the description of the video, you will find links to useful resources for the topics we covered today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Thank you and happy coding!